1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome to Captive Conversations. I'm your host, Adam from Captive Wi-Fi. Join us as we dive into behind-the-scenes stories of hospitality leaders exploring tech, operations, and marketing through the eyes of the experts. Let's get the inside scoop together. Hello everyone, this is episode 28. I had to check my phone because I keep forgetting the episode. And I have the pleasure of having Mr. Dan Brookman from Airship in the office / podcast studio / break room. He's seen it and everyone else is like, oh, it looks really nice. It's a great studio. But if I turn the camera that way, it looks a bit different. But thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
And getting the train, which is awesome. And coming in after the bank holiday because my brain's a bit skew but
Yep.
We'll be good. We'll be good. So episode 28 I'm going to go five. Well, you can wave to everyone because that are watching, and a virtual wave for other people. We're going to go nice and slow, ready for after the bank holiday, and I'm going to kick in with the two questions from the last guest. And apologies for not sending it super earlier.
That's all right.
We're good. Let's get the mic a little bit nearer there. That's
There
great.
we go.
Perfect. So the questions for the last guest was, and that was Gemma from Honest. Who do you look up to in the hospitality industry when looking at success in the field?
I think Roy Ellis, Neil McLeod, ex-Revolution Bars,
Okay.
Albert Schloss, Rudy's, first and foremost. I think they've absolutely smashed it. They smashed hospitality with Revolution. They let their managers be entrepreneurial. They grew the brand. They rolled out a very successful rum brand in Revolution to Cuba. They exited, and then they started again.
I didn't know that they were Revolution.
They were Revolution, yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, we cut our teeth with Roy and Neil, and we started working for them probably in 2006, 2007. We were probably only 3 or 4 years old. They probably had 12 sites, and I think they were 70 when they exited, And I think that they just encapsulated what a good time was and how to present and give a good time to people
at its peak, because it was
insane.
It was insane at its peak. I had some of the best times growing up, going out and I didn't know. That's a real. Thank you. I'll take that because it makes sense because all their venues are freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And the one at the Slosh in London, all my friends just went talking about it.
Yeah.
So which is really exciting.
They're very good at delivering hospitality as it should be delivered.
I had no idea. Okay, so I'll 100% give you that. That's amazing. Okay. Now this is a really easy one for you, to be fair, on the next question. What channel do you feel is most successful for converting customers?
I mean, it's email. Probably in 2002 when we started, I probably wouldn't expect to be sat here saying it's still email.
No.
It's still email. Even though social media plays a big part of it now, it's still email. Yeah.
That's really interesting. I asked Gemma what hers was, and she said exactly the same as you.
Yeah.
So I think if we were in the US, it'd probably be a different conversation because they're very SMS driven.
They are very SMS driven.
And I hate it.
Yeah. It's funny because before the PPI and GDPR, obviously we were all getting bored of text messages because we were spammed. Properly spammed.
Yeah.
But now it's coming back. We're sending more and more volume of SMS.
Really?
Yeah, because it's really good.
I think, but you can tailor it now. It's different. It's not back in the day. It was just spam. Now it's you visited blah blah blah. Do this, click here. You, I think there's more conversion in that sort of side because I have not had any really annoying text messages except for, and Jim mentioned it, Domino's Pizza, for example.
Yeah.
But so you're seeing a higher trend.
Yeah, much higher. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. On to standard questions. And the first is best hospitality experience.
Okay, so I'm going to take a recent one. I was in Paris at the start of the Olympics. I turned up at the hotel. The lady at reception said, basically, the director general of the hotel is going to refund you a quarter of your stay because you booked in good faith 6 months ago, where our prices were really high and actually we're not fully booked. So we're going to give you a load of money back.
Wow. That's unheard of.
Isn't that unheard of? Yeah, it's a bit crazy.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of blew my mind a little bit. And I know it's a bit extreme. There may have been some guidelines in Paris at the time, but that was really good. It was really good. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And what was the hotel called? Do you remember?
Oh my God, no, I don't.
Share it to me and I'll put it in the show
Yeah,
notes.
yeah,
'Cause that's
great,
nice.
great.
Nice of them to get a little shout out.
Yeah.
Okay. Best hospitality tech, but no, we can't do your own product, unfortunately.
Okay. So recently I've been chatting to a team that's come up with something called Recirculate. It's a coffee cup that basically has a chip in it. You buy a coffee,
Yeah.
you pay for the cup as well, and then you go to the next place, you drop the cup in a tube, it refunds your card for the cup.
Ooh.
The cup can go through the dishwasher and be reused, and the next person can pick it up and pay for it. It's called Recirculate. I think it's pretty clever.
I'll check it out.
And, you know, the disposable coffee cup thing, what a nonsense.
Yeah.
You know, I've just come from Sheffield. I could have bought a coffee from the Costa there in a nice cup with a top on, got on the train, got off at London and put it into a slot and just got my money back refunded on my card.
So are they doing it just for the brands or are they doing it for anyone?
They're doing it for anyone, and they're really early days. They've worked on the tech. They need to do EPOS integration now, you know, all that normal stuff. But it's really clever. It's really clever. And then the second one, I mean, Lucy said it on hers. The guys at Amble, you know?
Oh my God, yeah.
I mean, it's like they've been through the pain. They've had a go once. They had to go back to the drawing board, reinvent themselves, and they've come out swinging with something that's a really good product.
Yeah, I
really
agree.
good
I think the product's awesome. I think Hi Aaron. I don't know if he's exited and gone to Dubai now, but he went out there and said it was a great place for them as well. So great product. Okay, okay. So I keep doing this, but we're going to go back in time, and your story has quite a good one. So this is going to be really interesting. Back before Airship, before Powertex, before all of that stuff. Let's go back in the beginning, like early doors. Where did it start? Hospitality. You've done other stuff as well, but let's go all the way back to the beginning. Like where did like at uni or whatever? Where did you work in hospitality or?
Yeah, so no university.
Yeah.
So left school at 16. Won GCSE in geography.
Oh, me too. High five! You guys got that. We did.
C grade. What did you get?
A C in art.
You got a C in art. I got a C in geography. I was expecting art, but I didn't get.
Well, they lost my geography and history coursework, so I got a U. But look how we are now.
Yes, yeah. I was the second year cohort of GCSEs.
Yeah.
So I left school and I was working as a glass collector.
Yeah.
In a couple of pubs in Sheffield. I was also selling ladies' wear for Next. So that was a Saturday job, and then it became a full-time job. And I was working on in the shopping centre in the centre of Sheffield. In the ladies' wear department, which was great. It was a great job. Best job. Yeah, great job. So that's where I was. And then I was there for probably 4 years.
Yeah.
And working at the pubs at night. My parents gave me £4,000 because that's what they'd given to my brothers.
Okay.
To send my brothers to university. And on the proviso that I bought a house with it. So I used it as a deposit on a house. And I bought a 2-up, 2-down terraced house and moved out of home. And that was about the same time as the Supertram launched in Sheffield, which was a tram system, which was a complete debacle, you know, overspend, took too long, shut all the local shops. I had the bright idea of writing a board game for that, so I wrote a board game concept for
cool.
it. Yeah, it wasn't cool. It was quite an expensive little exercise.
Yeah.
But it did network me in the city, and I met lots of counsellors. And at the same time, I was doing this something called Spot Cards, which was sales promotion on target.
Yeah.
And it was basically like door drops for local businesses on little compliment slips, basically.
Yeah.
It all colour coded hospitality and lots of hardware and all of these things. Anyway, so I did that as well.
Was it yours, or were you working?
It was mine.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'd
So
always.
the early doors of Dan's brain was going.
Yeah, it was going. It's ticking over. Yeah. And then the break came really when I was having a game of tennis with some mates in Hillsborough. In Sheffield, and the local swimming pool, which had been derelict for a number of years, had got a for sale sign on the front.
Okay.
And this is the Hillsborough Baths.
Yeah.
So it's on the main street, tram stop right outside, beautiful neoclassical building.
Yeah.
Circular windows, very grand. And we were having a game of tennis, and a couple of mates said somebody should buy it and turn it into a pub.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a great idea. I'm like, great. And I went down the next day and I looked at the board on the front And I rang up the company. It was a pension fund from Birmingham. And I just said, how much is it? And they said it's £120,000 freehold.
Yeah.
And I'm like, great, okay. What's the deposit? And they said it's 5%. So
Yeah.
okay, £6,000. And I said, I'll call you back. And I rang my credit card company and I said, what's my limit? And they said, it's like 4.
Yeah.
And I said, could I have 6? And
Yeah.
they did a quick check because I got the house. They said, yeah, you can have 6K. And I rang the pension fund back and said, go on, I'll buy it. I mean, you know, it sounds a bit crazy now, you know. I was 22.
Oh, you were young. So, you were like, you know what, let's take a punt.
Yeah, let's take a punt. Yeah. So I bought this swimming pool and they gave me 12 months to get the appropriate permissions and to raise the money. And basically,
So you get a rent-free period as well? Or?
Well, they didn't charge me any. Well, I bought the freehold.
Oh, you got the freehold?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
unheard of nowadays.
Unheard of nowadays, yeah. So I bought this swimming pool and it was 18,000 square feet of derelict tiles and beautiful surfaces and this big empty pool and like machine rooms and a giant chimney and all, you know. It had 44 slipper baths on one side, which was the steel workers that have a bath on the way home once a week. And then it had 8 ladies on the other side for their 1 week a week bath. And it was great. And I just went through kind of a crazy time where my parents supported me. They're designers. So they had a team of designers that I could lean on. So we did the architectural drawings. I got an architect involved. I raised some more money, 20 grand or something on other credit cards by buying other credit cards. And then I did about a year of it. And I got the change of use planning permission. I was up against the local diocese because they had a vicarage behind. Hillsborough's very rough at the time, like proper fisticuffs rough.
Yeah.
So the police wouldn't let me have a license without me being a licensee. So I did the BII course and became a licensee. They put me in a pub just up the road so I could practice being a licensee, which they did with Enterprise Inns. Enterprise Inns literally gave me a pub, 20 quid a week. And I became a pub landlord.
Nice.
Got into trouble. Police laughed it off, even though it was quite bad trouble. Afterbird and a big scrap and all this sort of stuff. But then I basically didn't have any money. And a kid moved into my house who was doing his final year of law in Sheffield. And the front room in the house, which was just like, there was a scale model of it, there were plans, there were things on the wall, illustrations, all sorts of stuff for the license. He was like, oh, what's this? Told him about it, said, take me down, took him down, undid the padlock, showed him. He was like, this is great, you know, great. And I talked to him through it, what the concepts was, and it was cabaret and stage shows, and gave him the dream. And he said, what do you need? I said, I need £500,000.
Yeah.
And he said, when do you need it? I was like, I give the keys back in 10 days.
Yeah.
And he said, leave it with me. And 3 days later, his dad flew over and a brother. And basically, they guaranteed a mortgage with the Bank of Ireland and give me £500,000.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can swear. I can't believe it. That's amazing.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
So
This is the reason why I do this freaking podcast. Is that you tell your story, right? And people know a little bit about here and you worked at a pub, but this is like awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting excited. The volume goes up. Okay, amazing. So
it was awesome.
And that was just happened by connection. Saying your hat.
Just I think when you've got founders and you've got people who have got a dream, you know, and there's a really good example that's just opened in Sheffield called Yardball, and it's a guy called Scott Riley, and he had this dream of recreating his youth on a council estate, where the ice cream van pulled up, and you know they'd try and get a football through the hatch of the ice cream van.
Oh, I've seen it. I've seen the website. It looks awesome.
And he's opened it.
Yeah.
He's opened this place, and he talked to me about it 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's just absolutely just persevered, you know, and it's a big, you know it. You've got to persevere, you've got to keep going. So we opened this place up and we did live music and we had disco.
So how long was the build and everything else?
So the build was about a year.
Jeez.
We put a floor over half the swimming pool.
Yeah.
We had to lift the tram stop outside and, you know, full refurbishment. So we spent £500,000. And we got the place open. It was a 600 capacity live music venue over 2 floors. We did about 5,000 people a week through our doors. We did jam sessions, we did stage shows, we did specialist nights. We did tea dances in the day and a community hub. And
oh, nice.
you
So
know,
you
all
mix,
that sort of
mix
stuff.
you actually.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't think enough. I honestly don't think enough people do that nowadays.
I agree.
I wish you would be able to use like a venue, like a nightclub or something that's just dead throughout the day for a community-led space.
Yeah. It was. We wanted to be the heart of the community. We're the first new license in Sheffield for about 22 years or something. There just hadn't been one. And it was quite important to me that we didn't just want to be a live music venue or a weekend disco.
Yeah.
The weekend discos, DJs, they propped it all up.
Yeah,
they
sure.
just like the football fans and it's bonkers. Like Wild West bonkers.
I can imagine.
6 doormen, all massive, just hurling people around
Chucking
left,
out.
right, and centre.
Chucking people out all over the place.
That was it, and I was in then. I was in, and I'd worked at a few pubs, and the police put me into a venue in Barnsley for a bit of work experience after I'd finished as being a landlord up the hill at this little pub. And that was an eye-opener as well. The owner, who just sat upstairs in the top office watching it all unfold on CCTV.
Oh, wow.
I drove home back to Sheffield every Friday and Saturday night, just basically covered in blood.
Yeah.
It was just vicious.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a good learning curve, I guess.
Yeah, good learning curve. Yeah.
You learn to protect yourself.
Yeah. So after that, I set up a beer supply company because I was a freehold. So I got a back to barrel one.
So this is
discount.
you still have the venue.
Yeah, still have the venue.
Nice.
Yeah. I bought a little working men's club, which failed. We got rid of it really quickly. And then I opened a bar in Chesterfield called Bar Rocket. Bought a leasehold property. And then
with the same people, or
so same with somebody else. So by that point, I bought out my original business. partner.
Nice. You did well. So
so that was about 3 years in, and then taken on a new business partner. We had a plan to open a few. So we opened one in Chesterfield. We took an Enterprise Inns lease in Sheffield City Centre. We did like a cocktail piano bar.
Nice.
I set up a record company, so we did a record label because I had the bands going through the venue, and I had the bands going through the other venues as well.
Richard Branson moment.
Yeah, it was good. It was good fun, and I was meeting people.
How old were you at this point with the record
Probably
label?
27.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was meeting people that were passionate about that. So I met this guy called Rue, who was a music producer, and he was a good guy. You know, he'd come in and do the sound at night, and then during the days we'd record bands in the studio.
Nice.
I'd cut some CDs. We'd do the launches in our own venues.
Yeah, because you had the space.
We had the space.
Yeah.
So it's kind of all worked together.
Yeah.
And then I think things started going wrong probably when I was about 29.
Yeah.
I think 9 companies running at that time.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah.
9 companies at 29.
Yeah.
That's a lot to manage.
It's a lot, isn't it? Yeah. And I don't, I can't really remember it, truthfully, too much. But there was
the Wild Wild West days.
Yeah. I mean, it was the start of Gatecrasher in Sheffield and, you know, of the rave scene, really. My doormen were Gatecrasher's doormen. We used to go down there after, you know, we finished work on a weekend. There was it was frantic, let's say. Just frantic.
Yeah.
And we were spinning plates, and I was over in Chesterfield trying to make that venue work. There were some incidents in Sheffield while I wasn't there. I was still the licensee in Sheffield.
Yeah.
I needed to be back there. I couldn't make Chesterfield work. I was being destroyed by the local nightclub, who was doing a free bar before 10 p.m.
Free bar before 10?
Yeah.
Sorry.
He then became a customer of Powertext, actually. Yeah. And so what I did at the deep end was I created a deep ender card, which was a membership card. So it was a dual pricing card. You buy it, it's £10. It got me around some licensing issues around discounting because it said as a condition I couldn't discount. And I rolled that out, and then
to all the venues that you
so we rolled it out. We rolled it out in the deep end, and then we made it inclusive of the area.
Nice.
So people put stickers in their windows saying the deep ender card was accepted here, and we did a community thing. We had nowhere to store the data.
Yeah.
Enter Powertext.
Yeah.
Okay. So there we hired a computer scientist to build us a database management system.
Yeah.
Enter text messaging. 1997, 98, maybe 2000.
Yeah, I remember. I used to work for we used to resell for a telecoms company,
Yep.
and they bought a machine
Yep.
that had like 30 SIM cards in it,
Yep,
and
that's
it would
exactly what
just
we
send
had.
text. Is that the same sort of thing that you had?
Yeah, so we had, in the swimming pool, every time we signed a new customer, we would buy a modem with a SIM chip in and
Yeah.
hang it out the back of it. We had this massive bank of computers.
Yeah.
And we were sending for Gatecrasher and Ministry and Mint and Promise and all the DJs.
Yeah, because back then everyone loved it. Everyone wanted it.
mental.
And also, but bear in mind, your phones back then, you're looking
Yep.
at the Nokias and
Yep.
stuff. So all you had was the little bit of data.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
and
or
it was great, and we launched this company off the back of it. And at the same time, I got to the point where I had to fire sell all the businesses. Really.
Yeah.
So I didn't exit anything.
Yeah.
None of it was really a success. I needed to get out of it really quick before I went bust.
Yeah.
And I didn't go bust. I probably should have in
Yeah.
hindsight. I tried to do the right thing, and I paid people off, and it took me a long time to do it. But back then it was very different to what it is now.
Yeah.
I'd never, apart from my original seed money, I couldn't get banking facilities.
Yeah, there was no 5 mil seed money in your back pocket, was there?
Yeah, it was
No.
it was a bit different. And,
Yeah.
and in the same way though, I didn't also hire people any better than me.
Yeah.
It was just you'd meet somebody, you'd like them, you'd hire them. I
Yeah.
had no financial control in that business. Just zero.
Yeah.
Just taking money from one safe and putting it in another safe.
Yeah.
Paying people when you could.
Opening the safe of cash.
Yes.
And go take that. The
Yeah,
envelope
yeah.
goes to that venue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. Anyway, so locked the doors on the final pub, sold everything, and then at 30, literally walked down the road, up some stairs, unlocked another office, and that was Powertex. There was 3 of us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
3 of you.
yeah.
Okay, nice. But you'd already have the guts of the business anyway.
We did. So we had the guts of the business. We had our first maybe 30 customers. We're probably sending 50,000 messages a month or
Yeah.
something like that. Roll forward a couple of years, 2005, something like that. Probably we're at 150 customers. We're probably sending, 750,000 a month. We're doing a lot of inbound Q-Jump stuff.
Yeah.
2006, 2007, premium rate came in.
Yes.
Short codes, Q-Jumps,
Yeah.
text TV.
Yeah.
We're running all of the traffic for Chicago rock cafes and
awesome.
walkabout bars
Yeah.
and lots of universities. We're doing text TV at Gatecrasher arena events.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
twice as nice. Butlins events.
Yeah.
And, it's bonkers.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we were a data processor.
Yeah, but everyone wanted to do something fun.
Yep.
And I think that was at that
was
point
it.
was the interactive piece. There was no post to Instagram and show on the screen, right?
Exactly that. Yeah. So, and then we had teams of people when MMS came out. Teams of people that were having to look at the messages before they went on the screen.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, because people would just go to the toilets and just. Anyway, so we were doing that, and then Apple
Yeah.
came along
Yeah.
with their smartphone. And
Yeah.
it sort of killed text messaging
Yeah.
pretty much overnight.
Yeah.
It just fell off a cliff. So we reinvented again. We plugged in email, and
Well, and at this point, was it the same people, same team?
yeah. So it's myself, a guy called Rob Marser, a co-founder, and Mark Little, who was our tech guy. I think we've a couple more people in the business.
Sure.
And at that point, we then started becoming more of a full service agency. We were
People needed it though, right?
Yeah,
there was some people had no idea what they were doing.
Absolutely.
They were just like, "Can you do this for us?" And you were like, "You must be like, yes."
and Facebook came out, and prior to that, Foursquare.
Yeah.
And Twitter.
Yeah.
And
Did you see the post I just shared? I
Yeah, I
shared to
did,
you on the
yeah,
way.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
that. So some of your things were saying. I'll if you don't mind, I'll probably pop it on the links. You can have a look at it. But that was
Yeah.
really interesting. Insight was it 2000 and something.
Yeah.
I found online. I found a slide deck of Was it Power? It must be Powertext.
It was Powertext, and it was for Sheffield Council, I think.
Yeah, and it was really interesting to like, this is going to be taken over by this. Foursquare is going to be this. It was really interesting. But sorry, continue.
Yeah, so there's
Facebook,
all of the social medias were coming.
Yeah, Foursquare was pretty like powering up back then as well.
That's right, and people were checking in on Foursquare.
Yeah, and Facebook, right?
Facebook came out with friend profiles.
Yes.
Every venue, every restaurant bought their own friend profile.
Yeah.
They got to 5,000. They got blocked. By Facebook. Then Facebook rolled out Facebook pages.
Yeah.
And we were in the thick of it all, really in the thick of it all. And we were then teaching people how to use Facebook and then migrating people we were a Facebook partner. We didn't migrate them over onto a Facebook page.
Oh, nice.
We built widgets for Facebook. I mean, we were a full service agency at this point in hospitality, working for tons of people. And
so did you find that one of your clients from Powertext were like, there's a need, or you going back to them saying, this is coming?
Well, what happened in about 2006 is we took on a general manager. So me and my co-founder, we didn't get on very well.
Yeah.
We were properly at loggerheads all the time, mainly on who was the boss.
Sorry, that's the front door, but don't worry. It will go off in a second.
So we brought in a GM and they did the 80-20 thing. Let's get rid of those customers.
Yeah.
And concentrate on these 20% that are delivering all of the revenue.
Yeah.
And we followed that advice and we did it, and we stopped being a SaaS platform.
Okay.
Because Powertext was a SaaS platform. You could sign up. You could... you could sign up.
Stop. Sorry, continue.
Create an account, get an inbound number, buy some text credits, and upload a list from a CSV and send out text credits. So
it became a self-service.
Yeah,
you built the
we
self-service.
started as a 2002, 2003 self-service.
Yes.
Then up to 2007, we needed to pivot.
Yeah.
Smartphone came out. Brought in a GM. He told us the 80-20 rule, started teaching us things.
Yeah.
And then we started specialising in hospitality more, adding more services. We built an NPS system, feedback system. We did the NPS course, the Net Promoter course, and got qualified in that. We then started specialising more. For larger customers, we build systems for Gatecrasher. We built them an e-commerce platform. We built out websites.
Yeah.
We had a graphic design team. We worked for
proper full service, as in not just marketing, but like freaking digital.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We worked for people like Erbium, who were Erbium before Novus.
Yeah, Late Night London, right?
Late Night London.
Yeah, wow, Erbium.
Yeah, and do data collection campaigns. When Bluetooth came out, we had kids walking around with backpacks around London.
Yeah.
Basically pinging people's mobile phones.
You could do that. You could do that.
Until we got shut down by licensing.
Yeah.
We didn't know if somebody was under 18 or not.
Oh, yes. You have a free drink. Mum, look what I got. Yeah.
So we did all of that.
That Bluetooth beaconing stuff was awesome.
We did it at festivals and all over the place. It was good.
That's so clever.
It was good. So we just... we're just tripping along, really.
Yeah.
And there wasn't like the drive for investment at that point. We weren't. It just didn't exist really. That
so was it still the brand was still Powertext?
Still Powertext. Yeah. And that took us through to 2011, 2012, and then we got kind of. I can't remember the blip at that point. There was a blip.
Yeah.
We probably lost our biggest customer, and. We'd had a bad recession, 2007, 8, 9. It was a tough time. We'd lost a lot of customers and really had to sort of start again. And then we got rid of the GM and Rob stepped in as MD, and he and I had a better relationship at that point. I was the marketeer. I was going out doing the strategies. We were rolling out things like Coke Rewards for Coke restaurants, lots of loyalty for people. We'd done a Wi-Fi system.
Okay.
So we'd integrated with Meraki, rolled out Wi-Fi to a couple of operators. We'd built a booking platform called Inquiry Desk.
Okay.
We built a feedback platform called Feedback Desk.
Yeah.
We've got Airship.
Yeah.
We built gifting into Airship and done an integration with GS Systems for Living Ventures restaurants.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Roberts there. And we'd just been building out software, a little bit like you're doing now.
Yeah.
And then we'd had the services around the side, doing consultancy. And then we'd also been doing...
So you were building the software, and then were you passing it to the team to manage?
We were passing it to the customers to manage.
Oh, so at this point, customers were looking after it rather than full service. So the transition away.
But we were the problem we got is that we weren't building any of the software very well.
Yeah.
So that the team were always having to back it up with support.
Yeah.
And
I guess you probably had a lot because you were like, this is build this. And there's always a challenge, right? If you're building all of this.
Yeah.
And we have the same thing with POS companies. They were like, we build it all.
Yeah.
And rather than focusing on what was the best.
Exactly. And I met Nick Telson really early on, Design My Night, and he said, well, if you integrate with us, stop building your booking thing and integrate with us. I'm like, yeah, great. Okay.
Yeah.
And we did that integration with Nick for Design My Night, so we get the data from them.
Was that your first Res plugin?
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was their first one. I think after that we did Sky Wi-Fi for Walkabout, which was an absolute ball ache. Don't mind saying it was. It was pre-GDPR.
Yeah.
Great data was rich shit. It was shit.
It was lots of pub data.
Yeah, lots.
Because they were giving it free, right? Like the Heineken Wi-Fi, they were giving it free to everyone, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then we sort of stuttered our way forward, really. And we were doing lots of social media. We started working for a shopping centre. We were vetting their social media. We started responding to feedback. We learned about TripAdvisor. So we were always trying to stay on top of the trends. Of the
well, to be fair, going from text to Facebook to Bluetooth to what you're saying is literally all these pieces are sort of flowing into staying on top of the trends.
Absolutely, and seeing it wane as well and drop off, which is it's absolutely crazy after you invest so much in something and then 2 years later it's just gone.
It is crazy. Some of the stuff is just that you see the tech over time just disappearing. So
2018 Bargain Booze went bust. Conviviality PLC. We were running loyalty for Bargain Booze. We're on a massive retainer. They missed a zero off a spreadsheet, and all of a sudden that was it. Game over. And that was the tipping point. So I wrote a little post-it note on the wall at work that said, "We'll never sell another hour." And I stuck it to the wall, and then Rob stepped down as the MD, and I stepped in as the CEO. And I made 70% of the team redundant. Anybody who was a fee earner, basically, was gone. And it was incredibly sad.
It's imagine.
It's hard. It's the hardest bit. It's the hardest bit.
It's interesting because we've had a lot of POS companies here, a lot of other platforms here, and everyone has said that you have to make mistakes and you learn from those mistakes, and then it makes you stronger. Because the customers that stay with you during those mistakes as well are lengthy in. So I think the journey you've taken so far, well, obviously you'll continue, but it shapes you and the company you are.
Absolutely. I mean, the trauma that you go through and the fact that you have to then get up the next day. You can't just take a day off. You can't. I'm gonna have a bloody duvet day. It's just, it never happens. You've got to be standing back up for your team. Getting back out there and banging the drum again and again and again.
I agree.
Doesn't matter what's happening. It's a real.
It's
exhausting.
It is exhausting. I'm exhausted listening to it. But wow, that's amazing. Okay, so transition to no longer full service
so
at all.
We're skint. 2008, literally Brassic. I was in London chasing new business. Speaking to my credit controller, no money on the company card, no money in my bank account, literally saying you need to collect some money and transfer it to me so I can travel around. It was really bad, like tearful bad. And we slowly, I worked with HMRC, I worked with Barclays Bank. HMRC really supported us. They really supported us.
That's very nice.
I'm a very transparent person.
As long as you're open and honest, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you're open and honest. So they supported us. They didn't call in the debt. I wrote a business plan. My belief was in gifting. I thought that was the product where there was a massive hole. I'd seen what that happens in the US with gifting. I thought it was key for hospitality to be gifting better. We'd built something for Jeremy Roberts at Living Ventures. That was in Brewhouse and Kitchen and Red's True Barbecue and Gusto and,
Yeah.
So I wrote a business plan about that, branded Toggle, went to loads of VCs around London. They all told me I was bonkers. The business was 18 years old.
Yeah.
I was an idiot. If I'd not made it by now, I never would.
Yeah.
And they couldn't back me.
Yeah.
And then I got introduced to Northern Powerhouse, Mercia Asset Management PLC. And they liked me. So they liked the idea. They liked me. They liked the fact that I'd managed to survive for 12 months without any money, and maintained a team and got this new product. So they gave me £500,000 on a 2 million valuation.
Yeah.
Don't mind sharing that. 2 million valuation, 25% of the company went to them. And that money came in, and October 2019.
Yeah.
Like literally just in the nick of time. If it hadn't have happened, we'd not be saying.
Yeah.
So that came in, and that led us into the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For us, and you, I guess as well, it was a killer for a lot of hospitality, but there were loads still open.
Yeah.
So I think for the next part of the story is going to be even more interesting. So please continue.
Yeah. So we were left.
So just before you do that, Airship's still going, right? So Airship was now Airship.
Airship's now Airship.
You had those customers. People were still using the platform.
About 30 of them at that time. So we'd gone to all of our customers and said, look, we're not going to provide you design services anymore.
Yeah.
We're not doing this. It's £50 a unit a month. You store your data. And then we had to start back fixing the UIs so that they were usable, because all of our team had been using it. So
themselves. They just know how to use it, right?
Yeah,
they did it with their eyes closed because it was just there and then. Okay.
Yeah. So we've got Airship, we've got Toggle, we've probably got 30 customers on Airship and about 12 on Toggle at that time. Toggle's kind of, people like it. We've got zonal integrated, we've got contracts integrated, GS systems integrated. So we're starting our EPOS integration sort of journey. Zonal don't like me because they know I'm going to eat their lunch because they've got their own gifting platform. So
I didn't know they had their own gifting platform.
Yeah, they got zonal gifting. It's still there now.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've got, it's an API.
Yeah.
So we've got, we've got our start of integrations.
So then was it the venues you were working with that pushed the zonal integration in?
Yeah, so Living Ventures.
Yeah.
Living Ventures sold Live Res to Zonal.
Did they?
They did.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So Zonal bought TXD, which was Text Demon, which was the same as PowerText.
Yeah.
And Text Demon was our main competitor.
Okay.
And they spun that into Zonal Marketing Services Limited.
Yeah.
And that was like 2014, sort of through that period,
Yeah.
and that enabled them to do good CRM through Zonal Marketing Services.
Yeah.
And the guy that was for Text Demon worked within Zonal running that product, and Olivia Fitzgerald works in that product as well.
Okay.
Within Zonal. Yeah.
I had no idea they bought that's really interesting.
And then, so GS Systems were in Living Ventures across the brands, Alchemist, Gusto, New World Trading Company, Black House at the time, Australasia, Manchester House. Zonal came in, put their EPOS in, bought Live Res, I think as part of the deal. I think so.
Yeah.
And then, so Jeremy exited Live Res, and they had that as
So
their
then they had a
booking
booking,
platform.
booking engine.
Yeah.
Okay. God, this is good history. I don't know this. I like this. I think we have to do part 2 with more history. Okay. And they were already a customer.
Yeah, so they were already a customer,
Nice.
and they just pushed it through.
Nice. That's nice to have as well. To be
Yeah,
fair.
it's nice to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And then you got exposed to, I guess, all the other Zonal clients that are out there.
Well,
Or ish. Or did you
ish.
hunt? Or did you just go?
We kind of hunted them.
Yeah. We're plugged in. Oh.
Yeah.
One of those. Okay. Nice.
And it was good. And we just, we tripped into the pandemic.
Yeah.
And obviously, the first few weeks were chaos.
Yes.
Lots of tears. Nobody knew. There was no furlough scheme. Everybody
Lots of the
panicked
unknown. Lots of the unknown.
Lots of the unknown. And then we gave away Toggle for free. So I went on LinkedIn, and we were already quite good on LinkedIn and good at, self-marketing,
Yes.
I think. So we went on LinkedIn, and I just said, fuck this. mates.
Yeah.
I'll not be taken down by a pandemic.
Yeah.
I got the money in the bank from the investment.
Yes.
I was okay. I had a cushion. I said, if you want Toggle, sign up, crack on.
Yeah.
We'll not charge you until your door's open.
Yeah.
We didn't know how long that was going to be. We just got this massive raft of sign-ups. And that year we did 5.5 million for businesses in a close
that's
space,
amazing.
which was really cool.
Yeah.
And I think that just set our tone and set our stall. And Mercia, our investment manager at Mercia, had rang me up and said, look, we've done analysis of our 440 investments and you're mud. Basically, don't come to us for any money.
Oh, really?
Your tech in hospitality, they're fucked. That's it. It's over. And then they came back to us and said,
actually, I've seen the next year's worth of gift vouchers that you've done.
Yeah. So we did that, and that was great.
So pandemic hit when you started the Toggle without there for free.
Yeah.
Were people signing up for Toggle, but they didn't have Airship at all?
Yeah, I didn't have Airship
that
at all.
would
Never heard of it.
Was that a nice tee back in?
Yeah, it was. And then obviously when the track and trace came out, we built it 4 days.
Yeah.
And there's a really funny story about that because I'd met the global CTO of Pret at the RMI, the Restaurant Marketing and Innovation, in that January, February. And I got my name badge on and it just said Dan Brookman, CEO Airship. And he came up to me and he said, oh, Airship, we're working with you guys. And I didn't say no.
Yeah, of course.
I just said, oh, Ross, pleasure to meet you. Yeah, great, nice to meet you. And he was working with the American Airship, which is our nemesis.
Yes, the deep blue sea.
Exactly. So there was the American Airship.
I'd be honest with you, it did confuse me in the beginning when we started working, but just put a different spin on it, and then they're out.
So Urban Airship, which is a push messaging company, rebranded as Airship and launched in the UK. And they'd been working at Pret. So anyway, I said, hey, we connected
don't say a word. Always the best way. If someone says hello, you say hello.
Connected with him on LinkedIn. And then when I announced we were doing a track and trace, we built it, it was tested, it was good. He contacted me and said, can I have a demo? I gave him a demo and it was rolled out in Pret about a week later.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then Nero bought it, Costa bought it.
Oh, wow.
And within 5 weeks, we were rolled out across 16,000 locations. We were checking in 1 million people a day.
So was that just a QR check-in?
QR check-in.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. But it followed all of the rules. The 21 days, automatic deleting, GDPR, everything. It was really clean. And mainly because Costa had bought it and we'd done a deal with Coca-Cola. And then the Denmark transport system bought it, and lots of
everyone needed it. Everyone needed it. There were some really crappy Wi-Fi ones out there. There were a bunch of really weird sort of like QR and never really GDPR compliant stuff. It was really weird. I mean, some pubs probably still had a sign-in book.
Yes, sign-in books that people were nicking and taking home. Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. So we did that as well, and we sprinted through the pandemic, and we did the right things, I think. We never chased the business. We never chased the profit. I raised another £1 million during the pandemic.
I think that shows a lot of worth and value to the company, because doing the right thing in hospitality, everyone saw it.
Yeah.
Everyone saw that you were doing the right thing, and everyone saw that this is the opportunity for that venue to recover some money if they could. If people wanted their brand and loved their brand and you communicated in the right way, you were offering that for people to do it for nothing.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big props to you, to be honest, because we during the pandemic we took on some clients on the IT side where their IT companies were charging them all the way through.
Yeah.
And I was in just shock.
Yeah, shocking behaviour.
So lots of companies out there didn't do what you did, continued to charge their monthly fees. And I think that it upset me. I mean, upset with everyone, but I think that you absolutely did the right thing. And that's fantastic. I think that set you, I think, really, so people saw who you are. Yeah.
It was definitely, I don't know, the investment company said that you're a crisis CEO. When there's a crisis, you're the right person to drop in. And right place, right time. And then Sam dropped into the business.
Yes.
And that was literally like 1st of July, 2020. Lockdown. I think his first pitch was Costa Coffee.
Yeah.
I just put him on a call. There's Costa Coffee. They want to buy track and trace. Go for it, And he and I got on like a house on fire.
Yeah.
We're just mates.
Yes.
And I knew him from the wireless social days. And we'd grown into a really good friendship, and we're still mates now.
Yeah.
And
I've seen you two together. To be fair, you are like little. You're cute together.
Yeah.
No, but you are. It's nice as well to see you at events as well as doing the stuff you do. Having a laugh, nothing too serious, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I like to enjoy work.
Yes.
I always have. I like the fun of it.
Yes.
It shouldn't be angry. It
shouldn't be a hard
shouldn't be
slog.
shouting. People shouldn't have a shit time coming to work.
Yeah.
They need to have a good time coming to work, And I get a lot out of that. I get a lot of pleasure out of it. Seeing people have it. Maybe that's the hospitality in me.
Yeah.
I want people to have a good time.
Yeah,
basically.
I think I'm going to come to you in a bit about the team and stuff and what you've instilled in there. But okay, so we're now on to Toggle. Sam's in.
Yep.
Is it Airship growing?
Both are now flying along.
So at this point, they're all both like organically growing, or or both of you are going out grabbing?
We're still grabbing. We're hiring some more people. I raised £1 million, some Seabill loans, and another raise from Mercia, who were backing me at that point, backing our team, we just started developing the product more, really, making Airship more self-service, adding in some new features to it, reporting and Airship pages and things. And it was just, we were on a treadmill with it. We'd rolled out the professionals, which I think Lucy spoke about, and that was kind of a proud moment as well, because the furloughed teams were out of businesses. The boards recognised that actually they could sprint themselves without their teams and implement things that had been on the back burner for yonks. And we brought in people like Vic Searle and Annika and a bunch of people, really, and just said, here's a bunch of people.
Yeah, they can make it shine.
Hire them and send me their invoices. I'll pay their invoices.
Really?
And then we did loads of knowledge stuff. For people who were furloughed. And again, I got Annika to do masterclasses. And we started recording content and pushing that out. And again, that hit a momentum and felt like the natural thing to do, really. Lots of people sat at home. Why not be teaching them marketing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Shit?
Yes, amazing.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so end of lockdown.
Yeah.
Toggle's what year? How many years is Toggle after?
So we're at the point 3 years.
Yeah.
In. Yeah.
And you're tripling.
We are. It was funny. A lot of the companies that signed up through the free period then dropped off.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people who were. Lots of independents that at the end of it didn't have a strategy for gifting going forward. They'd use it as a tool to stay alive. And they just naturally dropped off. I think when you give something away for free, you get that because you get...
you're going to have a percentage always.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But then we were, we're in great growth. We were signing up customers every day. Sam had built a team. Lucy had joined.
So was Sam's role to build that team? Was it him come in and you build a team now?
I let go of sales 100%.
Nice.
It gave me the opportunity to be a CEO.
Yes.
I'd never had that opportunity. I'd always been the sales guy. I'm not a great sales guy. I just give shit away. Literally. I'm terrible at it.
Put Dan back in sales.
But whenever Lucy or Amy or Tess or Holly, I'm on any call, they're like, don't open your
talk.
mouth.
Just don't talk.
Don't talk. I'm like, just have it free for 6 months.
Yes, if you like it. I'm the same as you. So, yeah.
Terrible.
If you see the value in it, you'll keep it. So, but you're right. I guess, listen. Okay, so his role was to come in, build that sales process.
Yeah.
So did he come in, build the sales process, build the team, build the structure?
He did.
Amazing.
Yeah. And we worked together on the marketing.
Yeah.
He was, every time we'd sit down, he'd be like, look, I'm not great at this. It's like, bullshit. You're great at this. And then we'd hired some people under Kickstart and they'd come in as well. And we had a really good marketing dynamic, some Gen Zs in there.
Yes.
Myself, Sam, we'd throw around ideas. We'd work really quickly. And then we'd roll things out really quickly. We wouldn't overthink
your turnaround time and some of the stuff. I mean, Sam would mention that you were doing something, and I think like a week later you'd already done it. I mean, no one does that.
Yeah,
no one does that.
It's. I think we recognise the news cycle, social media marketing cycles. It's 24 hours.
Yes.
You you can do repeat stuff, rinse and repeat, but really people are seeing it and they're moving on.
Yeah.
So you've got to be fresh with your ideas and your content and really thinking. I mean, it sounds shit, but out of the box.
No, you're right.
What can we be doing?
Yeah, 100%.
And marketing ourselves as the same way as our customers were marketing to their customers, like we're a consumer brand. You know, was a big part of it.
Yeah. I think. From the posting to the talking and being present. I think being present is something that you guys do really well. Not a lot of people are present, and I think one thing I have to give you and your team props about is that you're present and you talk about stuff and you're there, and if people have questions, you're there, and if there's something new happening, you'll be present about it. If there's an event on, you're going to get involved in it. So I think not a lot of companies do that in the UK anyway. They just don't do it.
Yeah.
We have a service that we do. Use it if you want to use it.
I really appreciate you saying it. First of all, as I said, I like to enjoy coming to work. I like to wake up and feel excited for the challenge of the day. I'm better transparent than not. So it's really important to me to make sure that the teams always know what's going on, whether it's good or bad. This morning we did a 15-minute stand-up as we do every week, which is all hands. And we just, people take it in turns to talk. This morning was my go. I tell people about the challenges the business has. What's going on?
I'm back. Hello, everyone. Hey. I'm so sorry. I think that's really important. Actually, I think it's really important that you're not the typical CEO. To be fair, you're probably more approachable than most. And how often do you do that? That stand up
weekly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So every Monday morning we take it in turns across the team. So Lucy will do it. The head of product will do it. The head of dev will do it. CTO. Yeah. So we take it in turns, but it's just basically team news, what's happening this week, what's key accounts, any major gripes. So
Amazing.
we've got 2 major gripes at the moment with the platform.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about those. Just make sure that, just so people know. Because it's very
Because someone asks a question, if someone doesn't know, I guess then you're...
Well, it's not even about that, actually. It's not about asking the question. It's about knowing what's going off in different teams.
Yes.
So you're sat over here and you're a developer.
Yeah.
Why would you know that a particular customer's got a problem with a particular integration?
Yeah.
It's important that you do know it.
Yeah.
Because you need to know how the whole company's working.
I like
because
that.
you have to have empathy across teams and across departments. You can't have people working over
But you've
here.
got nice knowledge sharing, I guess, as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really important because every team's dealing with their own shit.
Yes.
And it's all different stresses from different directions. So people need to know what's going on across the board. Yeah.
No, I agree. I think that's amazing. I think that I love the little quiz thing that Lucy was talking about, and that I just feel. I think it also makes people feel comfortable if you're starting a job, especially if you're not necessarily, if you're a bit remote as well, because you guys are everywhere, which is great, and also gives you the flexibility of not having that. We've got 18 people in an office in the corner. Yeah, you actually can go out and speak. I think Lucy said that most of your team are developers now.
So 20 are in the product team.
Wow.
Yeah. There's 51 of us, I think, altogether.
51.
Yeah. Something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's scaring me even thinking about that amount of people. Okay, we're going to touch on quickly the zonal thing.
Yeah, sure.
So from zonal hating you because you were taking their data and so on, how did that relationship get strengthened? Obviously, I guess you started to work with a lot more zonal customers.
So we're working with lots of zonal customers. I'm 49 at this point. When we started, I started having conversations with Stuart.
Yeah.
I had conversations with different people in his team. As well, we were working more closely with them. There was a couple of other people that were interested in talking to us as well.
Yeah.
I kind of recognised that I wanted to exit before I was 50.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've done 14 companies, and really 13 of them have just fizzled out.
Yeah.
I've never really taken the money, never really paid myself well.
Yeah.
It all just gone back into the business. I've always gambled my personal life against my business. I think a lot of people do. I'm not great with money. Not great with it. So, if 1 month or, for the whole of 2018 and 2019, I just didn't pay myself. And I just got into arrears, mortgage arrears, credit card arrears. I'm just not never bothered buy it, truthfully. Just really stupid. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a founder, don't do it.
Yeah.
Because it actually really damages us. You know, it makes money very expensive to borrow. And so I've been talking to a few people. I then got some approaches from people. I met with Stuart McLean. I've met with a couple of other people as well. I just got on with Stuart. I got on with it. I got the family business, you know, that didn't have debt in the business, which was really important to me.
Yeah.
We just spoke the right language and the same language. Very passionate for hospitality, been in it all his life.
Yeah.
You know, it just worked, basically. Yeah, we just clicked.
The connection.
Yep.
And then, so what? It was like, this is it. This is here we go. And then,
yeah, we had 9 months of due diligence, you know, a little bit of a dance, bit of a tango.
Yeah.
You know, there was an American company who we got quite close with.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't get on with them. It was all about toggle. All about they'd have shut down Airship. Actually, would have thought.
Yeah.
And probably decimated the team as well. I'd have spent all my life flying around the world, setting up gift card programs in different countries, and it just wasn't for me. My son was 7, at the time, and I just wanted to come out of it, be secure,
family time as well
for the rest of my life, and also have that family time with my son Jack. Yeah.
So where do you sit now in that piece?
Yeah, so I sit on Zonal's exec.
Yep.
Which I'm really enjoying. We're into year 2, nearly at the end of year 2. October the 6th is the date. When
they must be happy. You've got awesome growth, to be fair.
Yeah, so we're still enjoying, 40-45% growth year on year.
That's awesome.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
We're rolling out new products. We're working with them. You know, I've got it in here that I need to bring, and this is Stuart's view as well. We've got to bring the customer to the heart of the technology.
Yeah.
I need to be able to walk into a pub, a restaurant, wherever it might be, and have an experience that anybody can deliver from a front of house team.
Yeah.
From looking at something, looking at a screen. They don't need to say, as much as they need to say, can I take your name? It's Dan Brookman.
Yeah.
And then they know everything about me.
Yeah.
You know, and without contravening GDPR, they know who I am. They know where I want to sit. They know probably what I want to eat.
Basically, you want to take that 5-star hotel experience where they research and deep dive the customer and bring it to it to everyone in hospitality. Because it's all, and the challenge I think nowadays is, which you're probably teeing on, is everyone wants to go out and everyone wants to be able to have an experience, whether it's going to the pub or going to some burlesque venue, whatever it might be. If you can give them that experience, then you've got a retained customer.
Absolutely. Consistency, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, my favourite brand used to be All Bar One.
Yeah.
Used to go there all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I think there was only 8 at the time. I don't think it was owned at the time by Mitchell and Butler. But it was consistent all the time. You go in, ham and eggs, the same.
Yeah, the food was awesome.
It was awesome. It was awesome. Service was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So I think that's what we want to deliver through technology.
Yeah.
So I've still got a bit of a mission to complete with where technology, and obviously AI's come into it and
of course
fucked it all up.
It's like the trajectory of what you want is here. Now there's like another path, isn't there?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think it's an easier path as well. Yeah, without a shadow.
Well, where it is now and what you can do with it, I think it might help you.
So Zonal are investing incredibly heavily in their product.
Yes.
When they bought me, we were 30 people. Now we're 50. We've just done this mammoth upgrade to the platform, which has been a bit of a nightmare. I don't mind saying, if you're an Airship user, you have our apologies for the downtime.
As I said, technology challenges. You need to grow, and on that growth, there are always challenges.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but again, back to the point of you being visible. You're visible, so it's not like, this has happened. No one's calling me, or does anyone know about this? That you guys are consistently in contact.
Yeah,
which is
consistently in contact. Yeah. We could have done it better. You can always do it better.
Yeah, of course.
So So we're investing, they're investing. They've got new products that are coming to the market as well. So
Which I'm quite excited about, to be fair. Their cloud product is, yeah.
It's going to be pretty cool,
Yeah.
you know. So I can see a point in probably a year's time where we have got this connected customer experience where...
Well, I guess you're going to go loop straight into that POS connection too. So
we're going to loop straight into the POS. I think the quality of the data now is pretty spot on.
Yeah.
I think that guest experience can be enhanced. I think it can be enhanced by somebody on the front of house team that's only been in the business for a week.
Yeah.
And that will change the game. Because if I'm going to that front of house and saying, oh, it's Dan Brookman, I've got a table of 4 booked at 8 o'clock, and they're saying, you know, they know there's a thumbs down or a thumbs up, negative, positive feedback, a little birthday cake, it's my birthday, or, you know, I'm a big spender, or
those little notes. Yeah.
Those little notes that are visual prompts, I think it will blow away the sector, basically.
Yeah, it's funny because now the res platforms have the chip printer, right?
Yep.
Which is still really weird seeing because, you know, you check them in on the res platform, the little printer on the front desk will go, and then as they walk with the menu, there's little notes on that printer, which is still pretty old school, isn't it? So you want that chip printer to know when they walk in, really,
absolutely.
or they're coming. So I think there's a lot that tech can do. I'm quite excited to see what's coming, or what you guys are coming. Okay, so now are you doing stuff with Zone? Are they using you in Zonal as well?
Yeah,
like for their side, because there's 2 parts of it.
Not really. So we're more integrated now with their product team than we were. The only bit of my business that's moved into their business is my finance team, as you would expect. We operate pretty independently.
Amazing.
I'm the only person with a zonal email address across all our team. They still exist on Outlook. We're still on Gmail. And that's G Suite, our platform. We're working with their product teams. Okay?
Nice.
So that's where we're at.
So deeper integration into that side.
Deeper integrations, more data coming through.
Can I ask a question? Because I've got to throw it out there.
Sure, go for it.
POS platform investing into Airship, or how that's been done. What's the conversation with the other POS platforms? And the benefit you had is you had some integrations already.
Yeah. So we're still building out integrations with POS platforms.
Okay, good.
They're a little. The conversations are a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But I use the argument that it makes them stickier.
Yeah,
because
100%.
If they don't integrate with Toggle or they don't integrate with Airship, maybe that customer will move to one that does.
Yeah.
I think we've got 26 POS integrations with Toggle currently. Probably about 7 or 8 with Airship around single-use vouchers and basket data, mainly that are born out of click and collect platforms, or order and pay, should I say, platforms. So the richness of the data, though, as we all know, and the basket spend is the key to the future.
Yes.
And how that bleeds through into the marketing. So
it's so important.
Yeah, it's good. I think it'll just be a line. I think it'll be like, this is what you can do if we do get that. And if you
this
don't,
is what we can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. I guess also it helps when the customer pushes for it too. So we've got some, like Market Halls, for example. You now have the Cobas integration, which is really nice. So I think that definitely helps, and it's nice when customer drives it too.
Yeah, and that took me. I think 2014 was my first email that I sent to Cobas.
Yeah.
Said, let's integrate.
Yeah.
And it took 10 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 2016.
Yeah.
A long time with James.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a challenge because those platforms like to build stuff.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I respect it.
Yeah. I like it when the customer tries to push.
Yep.
It's always nice, and then being open as well. So it's good. We've talked a little bit about I've got advancements in hospitality tech, but we've talked quite a bit about, to be honest with you. So, I mean, we've already had the conversation with Lucy, so people know what Airship is, and you've explained what it is. What's next? Like, what's the future? I mean, you touched on AI a little bit, which is really interesting, and you have feedback now, which is also really nice, and a need because there are some beefy platforms out there, but not everyone needs a beefy platform.
Yeah, the feedback for me was more about data capture, truthfully. You know, it's got Net Promoter Score built in, but it's more about converting that customer that doesn't opt in on the booking journey to then opt in.
Yeah, but not only that, also dealing with those negative feedbacks because you have the automated trigger and Airship.
Yeah.
It's about winning. I think it's about winning that customer back too.
Yeah.
I think you're right. And also the challenge you have is if you book on the booking journey, it's quite a low opt-in rate.
It is. It's about 23% on most. Yeah. I mean, interestingly now, quite a lot of brands are pre-ticking that box.
Yeah, I saw that. I literally looked at a client yesterday. I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that.
You could...
You can't do it. Very naughty people. They are doing it. Yes, I've seen more and more. Weirdly enough, but it shouldn't be allowed. But
well,
I guess
it's contrary to GDPR.
Yeah,
but you know,
I guess I remember seeing something a little while ago where it said untick if you want it, if you don't want to be, which was weird. Rather than it's ticked.
That's pre-GDPR.
Yeah. Interesting.
Anyway.
Well, it depends if the American platforms are allowed. Maybe you can do it over there. Well, the thing in GDPR is in America, right? You know, California's GDPR, some of the states are doing it. Others, it's really weird speaking to people over there.
Yeah.
Like, can you just auto-opt everyone in, please? No.
Yeah. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so other questions. Sorry. Airship, now you're expanding.
Yeah.
Airship internationally.
Yeah.
So, because I think, you know, there's always been, like, we've spoken to clients abroad about Airship and stuff. And you guys have been a bit, well, you can do that, you can do this. Are you now, right?
I think it'll be May or June next year.
Oh, really? Yeah. Awesome. Okay, perfect.
And it's time zones mainly.
Yeah,
time zones and some quirks around data and privacy.
Yeah,
that we need to understand.
Yeah, absolutely. So then, okay, so we have feedback.
Yep.
We have, and then the new the AI tool.
Yeah, Flight Assist.
Flight Assist. I love that name.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's with the first customer.
Yeah.
So it's rolled out.
Is it?
It's the first customer has it.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's this natural language. Just ask it a question.
Yeah.
I was playing with it last week. It's live. It's on a server.
That's so cool.
And you just like, how many people came last week?
Yeah.
It's like 27,000 people.
It just sounds so
came
simple, doesn't it?
And
but that's really nice. So okay, so the natural language model will be. We've got some like tech stuff we work with where you can say. Why was the access point in the basement off for X?
Yep.
And it will just pull it out. So in essence, it's basically you ask it a question, it will give you the information in return.
And what we're doing is we're recording all of the questions for now. Customers know that we're recording the questions. Nice. And when it doesn't know a question, it just says, I don't know.
Yeah. And then it flags it to you guys.
And then we'll wire it in.
Nice.
And it's like how many people connected to Wi-Fi. And it'll look and it'll see connected, disconnected, you know. So it will look at that. And then,
and then you've got your build list of what to build in.
And each one takes about 30 minutes to build.
Oh,
which
awesome.
is the smart stuff.
That
because
is smart.
we built all of the infrastructure around it. And we're using OpenAI as our partner.
Yes.
We're not passing it any personal identifiable information, no PII.
Yep.
So we don't contravene GDPR at all, which is a really big part of it.
Massive.
So we don't.
I will say, people. I was talking to someone about Copilot, and Copilot uses ChatGPT as well.
Yep.
And if you're using the ChatGPT API, it burns the data, which is beneficial for what you guys are doing as well. So if anyone is using ChatGPT and they're your customer, but they're uploading their data to ChatGPT's public, it's available for everyone because if that gets hacked, it gets hacked.
Yep.
The nice thing I like is what you're doing and what other people are doing is using the ChatGPT's plugin API. It asks it a question, it will send it info, and then once the info is returned, it's just burnt. It's gone, it's dust.
Yeah.
And I think that helps you guys specifically because it's customer data.
Well, we can't move the data outside of the EU.
Yeah,
anyway.
right.
So OpenAI is based in Dublin in the US. So we're passing it basically a hashed contact ID.
Yeah.
So it recognised multiple times of a use contact ID, but it doesn't know who it belongs to.
Yeah, it's random stuff, which is really good. I think
it's
I'm
good.
glad that's available now for people, and especially helps you enhance the product. I think that's really good.
Yep. So we're probably
you're just on the cusp of it, really.
We are, yeah. And the guy that's built it is a bit of a genius. Julian Cole has been with us since he left university. He built Toggle. And
he built Toggle.
He did, yeah. So he's our lead engineer, our chief architect, really.
Yeah.
And he, I took him out of the business and basically said, just work on this a good few months ago. And on the 10th of September, when we do our mega marketing masterclass in London, that's when we're going to do the big reveal with it. And yeah,
You're not going to do what you did with the was it Toggle Champions at an event, and the Antler event, which was like, we're going to launch it and we're just going to test it live, which was awesome, by the way. I have to say that was amazing, because we're like, it's finished, but we want to test it with your hospitality people, and you tested it live, which was awesome. Yeah, it was amazing.
We'll see. I think it's like, we don't know how our users are going to use it.
Yes.
And that's the main thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we'll develop it up to a point, and then we'll just let people go wild.
Yeah.
And then we'll see what people want
because you
from
get
it,
to see
and
everything.
then we'll develop it further.
Yeah.
Because I
like that. I like that thought process. You don't want to shove it in people's faces, because people are terrified of it anyway.
I'm worried that we'll go down the wrong route with it,
Yeah.
and people will come to it, and so asking it questions. We've seen the user that we've given it to, like, how many people came in with dogs last week?
Yeah.
Because the basket data that comes through includes dog treats.
Oh, awesome.
And the
That's
AI
awesome.
has recognised that people are buying dog treats.
Oh, that's so clever. So you got the basket data, as well as if they've booked and they've got a dog and so on.
And it connected to Wi-Fi, and given feedback, and had a
so
pop,
clever.
a proof of presence.
Yeah.
So you can say how many people visited last week who booked a table for 4 who've been more than 3 times in the last 12 months.
I have to say something that you probably should look at. William Connors told me about it. It's a company called Solink.
Okay.
And they're putting machine learning into CCTV.
Okay.
So can you imagine that?
On using facial recognition.
Well, no, not using facial recognition.
Okay.
So it's GDPR compliant.
Okay.
The American company that are here, I had a small chat with them. Really clever product, and it will do dwell time, which is fine because it's anonymous.
Yep.
It will do
movement.
And it will also, the AI, computer vision AI will basically read out, and it will be like, that is a man and a woman and a child and 2 dogs.
Yeah, great.
For example, and it just spews out information. It was mainly built for, like, look at the fridge, and if the fridge is opened at 8 o'clock, and check it off.
Yeah.
But if the fridge is left open, send an alert. And that's what was originally built for. And like, can you imagine plugging that into your platform?
Yeah.
Because then you've had 3. How many people did I have? I mean, it's crazy.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And I think the beautiful thing about AI is that it will speed up dumb processes, basically. Things that take time at the moment that shouldn't take time. It will just crunch through those, and it will make us much more efficient.
So you're eventually going to do stuff like generation for, like, creating. I want to create a newsletter for X, and you're smiling. But that's the plan. That's a part of the plan as well, because it's time saving. This is the challenge. You speak to marketers every day. I speak to them all the time. They are literally so busy doing everything. If you can automate as much as possible.
Lucy said it on when she was on with you. That I think the act of sending an email is dumb. I think it's been done for quite a long time. I think it's been controlled by some large players in the sector, people like MailChimp. And actually, it just needs to leap forward. Leap forward. And, we know how many people are booked in tomorrow. We know how many people came in today from all of these different data sources. Why, on a venue-by-venue basis, on a session-by-session basis, are we not automating capacity management through many different automation channels, including things like Jolly that I'm involved in, the influencer platform, to push out things to say we need more influencers.
I can see on this day we're not that busy. Fix that through.
Or that venue needs like a, you move a dial like on a mix up to level 10, and it's just like
bringing those campaigns.
Absolutely.
The interesting thing is that I spoke to some other people as well. With Airship as well, some people just don't log in. They just set the automations up, and off it goes. And that's a really nice piece in some of the tech that's out there, including Airship, where you can just turn it on. Because again, you said those monthly emails. I mean, my junk box is probably full of loads. But when I get an independent email of I haven't been for X, or I think that is nice, and that's something that I think is probably going to, as you said with the dial, you turn the dial up and let it go.
Should be text messages, might be a postcard once a month to somebody who's unsubscribed from SMS, unsubscribed from email, that might have a £5 toggle voucher that they can come in and scan. So I think it needs to be a big mix, but it's exciting. It's good.
It's good.
Start of it.
It is good. Thank you. I think we're come to the end. Apologies for the technology challenges, but they're both recording now, which is good. We talked about the future technology, but you've just given me everything I really need to know. So I'm really excited for the future because it's nice to see the purple, the purple Airship now, and I like the name, so it's really good. And we'll put some links into it because I remember when it came, I think you just turned parts of the website on, and then the WhatsApp marketing group went a bit crazy. Oh my God, have you seen this? Yeah. So everyone's very excited.
It's really hard rolling out new tech.
Yeah.
Yes. You think you're there, and it's like, yeah.
I wrote here AI and more what's coming next. You've given me all that info. So let's start. Let's go to the generic questions, which is best restaurant.
Yeah, I'm going to say cricket.
Cricket's good.
Yeah, when I'm in London every other week for a few days. Sometimes if I've had a long day, I won't meet anybody in the evening. I'll go along to cricket. Or if I fancy curry, I might go to Brigadier's.
Yeah. Brigadier's is awesome as well.
Yeah, awesome. And generally, when you're on your own, you can walk up to any restaurant and say, "Can I just have a seat?" They might sit you at the back of the coffee machine.
Yeah.
But I love counter service restaurants. I love the fact that you watch them cooking. The bustle.
You like a bit of banter as well, don't you?
I like a little bit of banter. Yeah, I don't mind. So that's kind of a favourite.
Nice. Best burger.
Yeah, I mean, scenario-wise, quarter pounder, Mackie D's.
Mackie D's, old school.
Grab and run, sit down and enjoy honest patty and bun.
Yeah.
Out with my family. The Cricket Inn at Totley in Sheffield, which is the Thornbridge pub, does a great burger.
Yeah.
It's a great burger. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have to put a few of them in. Best hotel.
So when I'm in London with work, I just need a place to lay my head. I'm not really picky. Last year I went to Pike's in Ibiza.
Okay.
That was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing. Yeah. But not, it's just pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Just go to Pikes.
Perfect. Okay, so now we have 2 questions for the next guest. I don't even know who the next guest is, to be fair. It's in my calendar. But they are coming in. It could be anyone. Hospitality, could be tech, could be a client. I've got a couple of sort of like shared clients coming in as well. So 2 questions for the next guest.
One's got to be what book? If you're in hospitality, what's the one book?
Yeah, the Airship book.
That you should read. Yeah, the bumper book of marketing, hopefully. Round 2 of that coming out soon,
is there?
by
Awesome.
the way. Yeah. And then I think the second one is what's more important, loyalty or frequency?
Ooh.
There we go.
That's good. I like that. Okay, I'm going to give you a round of applause and a round of applause for myself because my bloody technology's not working. Thank you, Dan. This is Dan from Airship. Give everyone a wave.
Everybody.
Thank you so much for coming. This is awesome.
Mate. Really appreciate it.